come some way since then, where we boldly mention that terminology. We talk openly about critical race theory, but that lack of diverse recruitment is still very much an issue here in Scotland to challenge some of those stereotypes. But for me, this is really close to my heart in terms of the racial literacy and teacher educators, and it's, for me, it's an essential part of the component, not an optional part of it. How racially literate are we? Truly, you've mentioned a teacher purpose, and this is where...
That's enough of that bit. Right. Oh, God. Critical. But this is the thing, though, mate. I was saying years ago that this was critical race theory. And now these people are becoming so confident within themselves that they just say it themselves now. Because for the longest time, they hid behind the facade that this was simply anti-racism. You heard it there yourself. She just said it herself, critical race theory. They're saying it themselves now. I mean, I don't know how fucking more obvious I need to make it for people. I get it that my channel's not the be-all and end-all. I don't have the clout of some of the other people in our so-called fucking movement. But see, as far as Scottish political commentary is concerned, still to this day, hear hee-haw about this shit, fucking nothing, right? Why? I don't get it. Why? I don't know. Is it not an adequate enough soundbite? I don't get it. I mean, come on. These people, this program, this shit is not just in high schools in Scotland. It's not just in universities and colleges in Scotland. It is now in our primary schools. It is now in nursery settings, but it's fine. We'll just talk about Kate Middleton pretending to have cancer. We'll just talk about things that are fucking irrelevant to our country. Hey ho. I'm starting to get annoyed now. I'm going to shut the fuck up.
I'm laughing at Jojo's comment there. A lot of really thinking people in looking at that and listening to her. There's no other way to suppose put this, because the optics is we're going to dismantle racism and fight that with racism, because that's essentially what it is when she's going on to things about anti-whiteness and about making people, being uncomfortable isn't harmful. Right, okay. And that's the education material that everybody just seen there on the screen. So on one side of the conversation, that's a perfectly A-okay, whether it be a teacher, whether it be a student, whether it be practiced and spoke about amongst people, because again, it's an educational piece. So you can pretty much speak about that anywhere with no repercussions. However, on the flip side of that, if you actually spoke about promoting whiteness and you actually spoke about what it means to be Scottish as an ethnic group of people, that would make people uncomfortable. And because it makes people uncomfortable, that's when they can challenge and you can get done with the hate crime bill. And this goes back to what we're talking about with the flags earlier on, because the flag is a symbol, it is a national symbol of a people from a bordered country, a sovereign people with a racial, ethnic identity that is to unify, that is to be the flag bearer, the unison point for said people. And what you've got here is you've got a lot of wormy, weaselly infiltrators that are coming in with a cultural race theory, critical race theory, with our Marxist cultural tactics, with our cheap pseudoscience and mental gymnastic approach. And the sad thing is, mate, in many cases, but not just to Scotland or England, is right across the West, a lot of people have gave this too much power. A lot of people have sat back and suppose no challenged this the right way, but ultimately we have let ourselves down. And that just isn't Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. That's right across Western civilization. We have let ourselves down. We have been too comfortable in allowing inches being taken into strides and yards. We have been too comfortable and allowed this rhetoric to go on, it's only a wee bit, it's only that, it's only this. If you've got a poisonous spider in your house, you don't get it a year, you take that out right away. And this is the position that we are in, because we have got too ignorant to the obvious issues that were in front of us, and even though it was done through subtle means, and obviously it was done through mainstream media and the propaganda campaigns and everything else under the sun, unless collectively we as Scots, we as English, we as British or European or whatever, and I'm not saying that as a collective term, I mean that as us as people standing with each other, get on the same page and take back, no the inches, we take back the yards and meters. A lot of this for folks listening, it isn't going to change. I mean, for people that are on the fence, this will hit you harder. This will hit you the most, because the left will be the ones that will come after you. And I don't like using the left-right, labels. But
dichotomy, aye.
Dichotomy, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, mate.
Big brain, bro.
We have that. But I don't really like using that language. But the point being is, the people on the fence are the ones that always get picked off first, and are the ones that are hardest because unprepared. They're unprepared. And after the ones on the fence go, it's usually the ones on the left, because let's be honest here, with all due respect and all seriousness of consequences, there are certain groups of people that literally have like a coloured theme that represents a packet of fruit pastels that are open to Gazans moving into the UK, and if they were their neighbours, they would be getting launched off of buildings. We know this to be true. That side obviously becomes victims of their own cause. The only people that are openly prepared, mindfully and in spirit, are the people like us that kind of can see the problem where it is, understands the problem and knows the problem. And I don't say that gleefully, I don't say that willfully. I say that because, like, it is what it is, but it's sad at the same time that our countries are so fractured and fragmented through sectarian division and, I suppose, political ideology, which has been pulled down the throat year after year and weaponised to the point where we can't speak about these issues without turning and saying, I'm not a racist, or I don't oppose immigration because, I don't mind the real ones or the genuine ones, or I don't want to live along myself, but I don't mind ones for here and I don't mind ones for there. It's a weaponised guilt, and that needs to stop.
No, I'm with you there, mate. And just to sort of make it clear here in terms of like the final sort of segment, so to speak, of the stream, the last video that I've got, I mean, there is a lot more videos, but cautious of time. But the last one is about immigration from Slippery Swiddy, but more so just briefly on the critical race theory shit. And to your point there as well, I think the issue, and I mean, obviously at times I've got annoyed because of the lack of like attention that seems to be directed towards it. I remember back in the day when I appeared on UNN a couple of times with David Clues, and Bruce Scott, to his credit, used to speak about it quite often on his Twitter, etc. UK column covered it a couple of times. Alex Thompson, David, whatever the fuck his name is, I can't remember the Scottish guy, it used to be on there. I went down to a PA conference a couple of years ago, put my neck on the line, so to speak, by doxing myself at the time to a room full of people. I wasn't comfortable doing it, but I did so because I wanted these people to potentially start speaking about it. They don't really, to be honest, I mean, it's up to you what you want to make of that. I don't know, but like, I don't get why this is not something that's spoken about more so, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's water off a duck's back to us, anti-white shit when it's targeting men. Right? We're used to it at this point, but again, let me emphasize, it's children that these people are targeting here, That's my fucking major point of contention. Because LGBT stuff and climate change education, etc. I mean, there's another example of climate anxiety. Children are terrified for the future because of political propaganda. Children, that's our future. Whether or not you have a child is irrelevant. That is our future. And these fucking people are targeting our youth with their poison, their anti-white bullshit. And it's just going completely unchecked, unchallenged, unfunded by our government. Right under your nose. Right under your fucking nose. And again, let me